But the thing you have to understand is that this is a type of legally binding agreement or otherwise contract. And unlike some third world countries like the United States, where companies can get away with writing anything into the contract like, you can't sue us, because we said so.
No, you're wrong. It's beans. I'm really tired. It is 12:16 a.m. on a school night. So I recently just watched Kian's video and joined his server, which you should do. Discord.gg/Mojang lawsuit. Basically what happened is Mojang violated a bunch of EU consumer protection laws, and he's going to sue them over it. But a claim he did make in his video is that, well, he implied that it would not be possible to sue Mojang in the United States for not notifying users of EULA updates and shady practices with their EULA, like being able to change their EULA suddenly and letting servers that break their EULA. You can see with the FTC Act 15 U.S.C. Section 45 in 3A, this subsection shall not apply to unfair methods of competition involving commerce with foreign nations other than import commerce unless such methods have a direct, substantial, and reasonably foreseeable effect. The United States plays a lot of Minecraft. The United States makes up 25% of the Minecraft user base. And an example of this being fought in court would be Spetched versus Netscape, which is a ruling that users must have reasonable notice to terms of consent. And then selective enforcement of EULA is also discriminatory enforcement or breach of implied good faith under UCC Section 1304, which is the obligation of good faith. Also, this violates some state-level consumer protection statutes. States like California, which have known to have some strict consumer protection laws in the United States, like Business and Professions Code 7200, which is the unfair competition law. And an example of a case of this would be Doe versus Twitter. And basically, when you sum this all up, it's that it addresses platform liability and consistency in enforcement. And also, many EULAs, especially here in the US, contain arbitration clauses that limit lawsuits, which is a problem to sue in the United States, which is very, very, very noted upon, especially why he made that claim, implying that it would be not good to sue in the US. But if the EULA is found to be overly one-sided or deceptive, it can be challenged, such as Williams versus Walker Thomas, which, if you don't know what this case is, it is defining criteria for unconscionable contracts, consumer protection claims, as well as a problem. Mojang's actions could be challenged under state consumer protection laws, but this is only state level. We also have practical barriers for damages in arbitration, which is also another challenge. We must demonstrate the damage caused by Mojang's practices, which could be assimilated in the claim that Kian made in this video, that server owners were abruptly notified of a change to the EULA which damaged 1. the ability to put up a server, and 2. having to immediately cut off funding without preemptive notice. An example of this is Hadley versus Baxendale, which was an English contract law case. It determines consequential damages from a breach of contract, and a breaching party is liable for all losses that the contracting party should have foreseen. Now, you might be saying, hey, this is a UK ruling, right? It's a landmark British case. It's not really a US case, really. It originated in the UK, but it established foundational laws regarding recoverable damages in the United States, which is why I am mentioning this. You also have number 6, right? They're operating in the US market. This is dealing with the problem that they aren't a US company and people think they are not subject to our laws. Yes, they are. They conduct business in the US and they manage and collect data from United States users through their servers, which means it can be subject to US laws. U.S. courts have jurisdiction over foreign companies that engage in substantial or targeted activity in the U.S. under the doctrine of personal jurisdiction. This does include general and specific. And again, general, if the company has a significant and continuous presence in the U.S., they are owned by Microsoft, a United States-based company. And to use Minecraft, you have to create a Microsoft account, which, again, Microsoft is based in the United States. I'm using Microsoft Edge right now to research all of these. Also, binding EULA clauses. Mojang's EULA is a contract with U.S. users. If it includes a clause specifying that disputes are governed by a particular jurisdiction, that choice particularly governs. But U.S. laws, like consumer protection statutes, cannot be waived by contract and still apply. That means no matter how much you say that disputes are governed by a particular jurisdiction, if it violates the U.S. consumer protection statute, it's never waived by contract and is still suable. Mojang can be sued in U.S. courts, but it's going to be hard because we have to cooperate with Swedish courts and international treaties. An example case of everything I just said could be, let's say, Google versus Acoustic, which was a legal battle between Google and Acoustic, a Canadian information technology company, over the removal of websites from Google search results. It primarily addressed how courts can compel foreign companies to comply with local laws if their actions impact users locally, which they do impact users here in the US through their EULA, especially people that did work on the MC War project that were based in the United States. Another case, Schrems 2, which was in the European Court of Justice, which is another thing that could help Kian. It ruled that companies operating internationally must comply with the laws of the regions they serve. Sweden is in the European Union. Mojang is based in Sweden. So, even though Mojang is not a US company, its activities, like selling Minecraft, managing servers, and enforcing its EULA, always make it subject to a lot of laws in the United States. But it's going to be hard, and it's going to be tough. That's all I have. Just reminding you guys, it's possible. If you want to do it, you can. And you're completely free to. It's a free country. Alright. Good night, guys.